Sans is now in Smash as a Mii costume.
Welcome back to the Inside 2021 podcast with your hosts, Connor McGrath
and Logan Patika.
Today we are joined by Lexi Chessnoe.
Hi guys.
Hi. So, if you didn't know, Lexi has a very important role in theater. And what is that role?
Well, I'm going to be the assistant/student director this year. Mm-hmm. So I'm like the assistant to Miss Chanel, Mr. Brackney, and all the other teacher directors. So I help run auditions and help decide cast lists, and then run like attendance during rehearsals, and do like I'm a stage manager during shows, and I have a headset and stuff. So yeah.
That's cool. How did you get that job?
Well, last year, I don't know if you guys know, Megan Thompson was the student director for the past 2 years. And so I came to Miss Chanel last year because I knew she was graduating, and I decided, I was like, because I got to direct a play that I wrote. So right. I got to direct and perform that, and that was really cool for me. So I decided to come to Miss Chanel last year, and I was like, I'd be really interested in like assistant directing this year if you'll have me. And then she was very relieved because it's a very big job and a lot of people don't want to put that much time into it. So that's how I got it.
Cool. So if you weren't here last year, can you give a brief synopsis about the play that you directed?
Yeah. So my play was called Misconceptions, and it's about this girl named Bethany who has anger management problems and misinterprets a bunch of situations. So it's just about all of the situations through her life that she misinterprets, and all of them end up, and her anger management issues cause her to have big traumatic event at the end, which causes her to go to jail. And it starts off with her in jail talking about how she got there.
When are the auditions for the fall play?
Okay, so the auditions for the fall play are September 10th through the 13th, and the normal auditions are the 10th and the 11th, and then we'll have callbacks on the 13th. So, and that's after school, and the sign-up sheet is outside Miss Chanel's room.
What do you need to have prepared to do an audition?
For the auditions, you just need to have about a 1-minute monologue, and since it's just a play, you don't need a song or anything.
Will you be part of casting?
Yes, so I sit in through all of the auditions and help decide cast.
That's really cool. So if you didn't know, Lexi actually was the one who ended up designing the logo for the podcast, and it looks really cool. So I just wanted to ask, how did you do that? What did you use?
So I use this app called Canva. It's super easy because I like it because it has a lot of cool fonts, so I don't have to make it myself. It saves me a lot of time, and it's super easy to use. I actually got into graphic design in middle school and had a couple art pieces get into the district art show, which was really cool. So I just really enjoy graphic design, and I just do it all the time.
Graphic design is my passion. I can't talk. We got a whole list of just stuff that we're.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about tech for the show too?
Yeah. Okay.
If you have anything you want to say, go ahead.
Okay.
So what about the tech crew for the show?
Okay. So the student tech director this year is Christian Voss, and last year I was a part of the tech crew for Mary Poppins, which was really cool, and it's super fun. Before the shows for 2 or 3 months during rehearsals, we paint and create all the set. And then if you get selected during show week, you get to do run crew, which is where you just move around all the scene, the scene pieces and stuff. And it's actually a lot more stressful than it is. But all of the time you spend on tech crew, you get volunteer hours. So I think I ended up with 110 volunteer hours, which I'm almost done.
I didn't know you got volunteer hours. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, which is really nice. So if anyone is interested in doing tech, there's applications outside Miss Chanel's room, and they're due, I think, September 20th to Christian Voss or Julie Chanel, and just talk to them if you're interested.
Is having a role in tech crew grade dependent?
It's not as strict as the cast. I'm assuming it probably is. Last year, not very many people had grade issues, and they weren't super strict about it. So it's a lot different than the cast, because I know the cast is super strict about that, but it's not the biggest deal. Just make sure you're getting stuff done.
Yeah, that's been a big thing that's really been coming up with this year. There's a lot of work that people get assigned that isn't graded, but that catches up with people when they aren't as prepared for things.
Yeah.
So in your experience with tech, what do you have any interesting stories about tech? If not, we can edit this out.
No, I have lots of interesting stories. I just have to think about what to start with. Well, the big time when we all bond together is really like Super Saturday, which is like the whole dress rehearsal day, the first dress rehearsal.
It's a super fun day.
Yeah. So that's really the day that everybody bonds the most because we're stuck there for like I think 8 hours or something. And my friends and I who are on tech, which was Christian Voss, Jeremy, Sierra, Caitlin Wieland, Katie, and then a bunch of other people. We kind of created like a little family, and like Christian and Jeremy are the dad, and it's just really cool that we still are super bonded about stuff like that, and we just did the weirdest stuff behind stage, so it was super fun.
Cool. Mary Poppins, if you didn't get to see it, it was a very technical show. There was a lot that had to happen to make it work, so you should really show a lot of appreciation to the tech crew. I know you're like all focused on the actors during the time, but there's a lot that goes into it.
Oh yeah, if you stand backstage during a show, you'll see all the chaos that happens within like 7 to 10 seconds in between scenes. Like literally our tech director last year literally broke her foot because she tripped over a flat.
Oh my gosh, I
like
forgot about
that. Because we were pushing around these big old flats and there's like a fireplace a part of it, so it was super heavy, and she like tripped and broke her foot. It was really bad, but it's mass chaos back there.
That actually kind of that reminds me of you directed the play you wrote, the misconceptions thing.
Yeah.
I also got to do that with my play called 26.3, I think.
Yeah.
And you know, it was supposed to be a horror, and I think it was kind of effective. But
it was super cool.
As effective as it may have been, there were a couple mess ups that couldn't have been avoided. There was one point, well, could have been avoided. There was one point where audio just wouldn't happen, and I was freaking out on stage. But I think the one everyone remembers is there was a point where the lights shut off, and when they come back on, there's an apple sitting on a desk, and it's like, oh, spooky. There's some mischievous thing about.
Yeah.
But when
the haunted apple.
Yeah, the haunted apple. So when the haunted apple appears on my desk, it's supposed to be like, oh, where'd that come from? That's super weird. I didn't have that. And when we had rehearsed it previously, it made sense because it had been completely dark, and there wasn't any way to see our I don't want to forget his name. I feel like it was Jacob. I was going to say John. So Jacob would have the apple backstage, and when the light shut out, he would very quietly walk across the stage, put the apple down, and then go back to where he was controlling a lot of audio and light kind of stuff. And so that was all well and good, and when we practiced, the lights were completely off. But when the show ended up happening, there was a door open with the light from the hallway streaming in backstage. So everyone got a face full of Jacob casually walking up to the table, putting an apple down. He dropped it and then had to fix it. Yeah. And that gets brought up a lot. But
yeah. Well, if you're on tech, you'll know that there are lots of technical difficulties most people don't notice. That you're like, oh my gosh, can't believe that happened, and no one else would notice.
Yeah. Oh, your play was super fun. But we were just talking today in our theater class. During your play, you had a cake.
Yes.
Oh, was the cake
a real cake? So part of the ending scene, which is like the big climax of the show when she has her mental breakdown, the scene is where her boyfriend breaks up with her, and it's in the middle of a super nice restaurant. So she thinks he's gonna propose, and he ends up breaking up with her. And what he does to ease the pain is he has the waiters bring in a birthday cake and sing happy birthday to her because he thinks it's going to ease the pain. And so eventually the character Bethany grabs the cake in an angry rage and throws it at her. And what was really funny is that the first time I did it, the cake fell on the ground, and then I picked it up and projectiled it across the room, and it got all over the curtain. Yeah. And we were there for 20 minutes after the show just cleaning the curtains, and I was so scared Michelle was gonna be mad at me, but she was fine.
She's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah, but that was another tech fluke that actually contributed a lot to the show.
Yeah. When she says everywhere, that's not an exaggeration. It was all over the floor. It got on the curtains.
It was all over the cast, not even the people that were in my show.
People backstage were like, oh, God, Luckily, I think you were second to last, I want to say.
Yeah, you were last.
So that proved an interesting transition from her scene to ours. So yeah, like
didn't Hannah slip on the cake or something?
I think maybe it might have been Hannah. It might have been me.
Somebody slipped on the frosting that was on the ground.
Yeah. So in a regular transition, we'd move the table, we'd get all this stuff out of the way, and then we'd just clean up anything else that was there. But we have to do this with like 20-ish kids on stage, all moving around. There's frosting on all of them. There's frosting on the floor. So everyone's just working around this thing, and we have like, I want to say 5 minutes to get this all worked out because people are still in the audience. So yeah, Tech Crew is a cool thing for you.
It's a really fun bonding experience, and it's actually a very practical skill to have because when you're learning like construction stuff, like I learned how to build flats and stuff, and actually from doing tech, because I did it at my old school a lot too, I'm actually able to help my dad build, like we're working on building a deck right now, and so I'm helping him do that a lot. So it's actually a very practical skill that helps, like if you need to repair something in your house or something, just very useful and really fun.
Knowing how to use tools.
Yes.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
You guys kind of got the whole theater thing down.
Logan, you do choir?
Yes.
You do choir? So it's a different side of Chessnoe.
Yeah, choir is a lot of fun. I've been doing it for all of high school and part of middle school. It's just a lot of fun. Occasionally there'll be a little something that goes on with the choir. Like one time somebody got sick right before the show. So it's stuff like that, but nothing like cake throwing.
Yeah. As impressive as it is for all the people to really get out there and project their voices, there's an extra element that comes with theater, with just design and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's super interesting. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about or you wanted to say?
No, I think we got it all. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, have fun with the rest of your podcast. Have fun.
Yeah. So, for the members of the choir in our grade, there is going to be a musical next semester. So if you like that, and you're having a bit of trouble this semester, just hold off till next semester where there'll be a fun musical planned.
Is there going to be a musical?
Yep. Because It's a Wonderful Life is this one, and then next semester is Big Fish.
Is that a musical?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, I think I could have misinformation, but I thought that what happened was last year we had 2 musicals. We had Drowsy Chaperone and then Poppins. So I thought that this year we were doing Wonderful Life movie edition, which is not a musical, and then Big Fish, which I don't think is a musical.
I don't know. Hold on, let me look at it real quick. Is Big Fish a musical? Yep, Big Fish is a musical.
Big Fish is a musical? Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
It stands that if you're in choir, you should definitely check that out.
What does that say?
Did you ever play Angry Birds? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, the locker decals.
Why don't you talk about it since, I mean, that's kind of your thing.
I'm not sure when this is coming out. I expect it to be tomorrow morning because I've got work and homework and stuff to catch up with tonight. Not catch up with, but do tonight. So I expect this to come out tomorrow morning. But either way, by the time this comes out, you may notice some lockers that have the Inside 2021 podcast symbol / logo on them. As we said earlier, that was made by Lexi. So if you're interested in being on the podcast or getting one of those decals, just talk to Logan or I, and we can make that happen. So far, we've only got the host with decals and then our 2 guests. So if you'll remember, that was Hannah Chessnoe last week, and then Lexi this week. She might preemptively put hers up because I gave it to her today. I'm not sure if that'll be up yet. But if you want one to help advertise, or if you want to be on the show, you can talk to Logan or I, and we can make that happen.
So today, this week has been a short week because of Labor Day on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So there hasn't been as much going on this week, has there?
There really hasn't. But I mean, I'm in a weird place because outdoor ed got me back here with like 2 days left in the week already. So I've been used to having a kind of choppy schedule. Did you do anything interesting over the long weekend?
Oh, yeah, over the long weekend, I was stuck in bed because I was sick on Saturday.
Oh.
And then on Sunday, I kind of forced myself to go out and do stuff. But then I went to a Labor Day party.
Oh.
What about you?
I actually was able to finally start working. If you've talked to me recently, you know that I've been having a bunch of trouble with getting the ball rolling on my job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That location especially is really bad about new hires.
Yeah, but I was able to start working, and I also took some time to go to Soda Lake. I'm not 100% sure what it's called, but I went to a lake and I not whitewater rafted. I stand-up paddleboarded with a few old friends. So that was really cool. That was the first time I'd actually ever stand-up paddleboarded. It's very calm, but it's tiring.
Beware over the next couple of weeks because flu season is about to set in. Some people have already gotten sick, like I'm sure you can tell by the sound of my dying toad of a voice. Wash your hands. Try not to share too much food.
Don't share needles. Sorry, that's a different warning.
Just be safe. This year is going to be a really bad idea to miss a bunch of school days because physics is going to start ramping up real soon.
Yeah, I was in theater today. I was sharing my good things, and it was basically along the lines of, I'm having a good time these days, and I've been feeling confident about physics, and they were like, are you doing kinematics right now? And I was like, yeah, and they're like, just you wait, and I'm like, just let me enjoy it.
Unfortunately, I'm not doing well in kinematics.
I think that there's a lot. It's a very complicated thing, and if you
it requires a lot of thinking.
Yeah, if you don't understand every term, you can't do it at all.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not so much complicated as it is tedious, and I tend to cut things out of my brain when I'm doing something repetitive, so I make just stupid mistakes. That's why tests have always been a not such a strong suit for me.
Yeah. Wait, wasn't yesterday back to school night?
Yes, last night was back to school night.
Okay, I thought that I didn't know if it was tonight or last night.
No, it was last night. So does that mean your parents didn't go?
My parents did not go, but they wouldn't have gone anyways.
Yeah. Well, so as a McGrath, there are 3 McGrath children. One is in high school, he is me, and the other 2 are in middle school. One of them is 8th grade and the other one is just starting in 6th grade this year. So my parents felt obligated to go because it really does help keep track of where we are. In the car today, my mom was saying, oh, Connor, you've struggled with some of this stuff in the past, and I just want to let you know that if things start to go south for you, the first thing that's going to have to go is your job. And that was really weird to me because I'm actually doing well grade-wise this year, which is not something I've been able to say confidently for a while. So I got preemptively. There we go. I got preemptively discouraged. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I'm doing fine. Like, why are you already putting me in this mindset?
Yeah. I go to a different school from my little sister. My parents just really don't do back to school nights.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the back to school night mainly?
So I didn't go, but I don't know if students do go. I don't know. I've never gone, but from what my parents tell me, they basically go. I think they basically follow our class schedule. So if I have art first, so in theory, if they wanted to, in theory, they would be going to Miss DiStefano first. And so they, I guess, talk to the teachers, and usually it's like a big class, so it's more open-ended, like just announcements on how the school year is going to be, what you can expect for the workload, how grading works. It's basically them going over the syllabus with the parents. But when my mom got to Brackney's class, she was the only parent who decided to attend that one meeting, so she just got to have a
one-on-one with Brackney.
Which
is totally not scary.
Yeah, I had warned her beforehand. I said, first of all, I don't really think you need to go. I'm managing myself. But if you do go, I feel like the person you would clash the most with would be Brackney, because my mom is a very, it's not a bad thing, but my mom is a very sensitive person, and I think Mr. Brackney's humor can be a bit
Mr. Brackney
aggressive.
does not care about your feelings.
Mr. Brackney's been regarded as a cynical teacher, almost. You know what
He has made it a point of making everybody from the sophomore and freshman class fear him with a passion. So he's gonna try to keep up that image as much as he can.
Yeah, if you're in the junior class, you definitely know what we're talking about. But speaking of teachers, there is actually a new teacher this week, and her name is, I might butcher her first name. Her name is Yvonne Gray. Yvonne Gray. She is
Miss Gray.
Yeah, her name is Miss Gray. And she is not filling in. She
replaced Mr. Buchanan.
Yeah.
I didn't have Mr. Buchanan, but Connor, I believe that you did.
Mm-hmm.
So how's everything been going so far?
So I did have Mr. Buchanan. I'm in Trig Pre-Calc. So when I actually really liked Mr. Buchanan. He helped me out when I was struggling a little bit just with figuring out my summer coursework and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's disappointing when he's leaving. But I think I've had her for like 2 days now. I don't think it's been much longer than that. But from the time I've spent in her class, she seems equally competent, equally willing to help you. And that's nice, because there's some teachers who just...
Miss Wilhoit puts it, dropping you in a pool with lead shoes.
Oh, is that how she... Okay. The point I'm trying to make is Miss Gray so far appears to be a really good teacher. I'm excited to keep working with her, and she seems very willing to take time out of her schedule to help you. And she very much... She's made a point for you to ask questions. I cannot talk. Now let's enter freestyle.
Freestyle rap? No.
Wait, can you imagine if we had a rap segment on this show?
It would mostly be me mumbling.
Mumble rapping.
Your language sounds like it come from a mumble rap community.
That's PewDiePie, right?
Yeah.
Can we talk about PewDiePie on this podcast?
He hit 100 million subscribers, got married, and
beat the Ender Dragon.
Well, and his subreddit hit 2 million, which is really big for that community. And then he got really close to finishing his most successful series ever.
Well, I mean, he did finish. I mean, he beat the main goal, but the series isn't over.
The Act Now Club just donated to a shelter. They donated like an Italian dinner. Or to, I think it's a shelter. If you would like to hear more about it, you can talk to Miss Whitney or one of the members of the Act Now Club.
Mm-hmm.
But it just seems like a very nice thing to do. So yesterday there was a Nintendo, in the same Direct where they revealed Banjo was releasing. For the Nintendo Switch Online members, you are now able to play SNES games, and they released 20, including some of the best-selling games on that system, like Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, F-Zero, and Super Mario Kart, just to name a few.
That's cool. If you have a Switch, you should definitely check those out. I might get 1 or 2 of those. Not 100% sure.
They're all free.
They're all free?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I didn't even know that. So I will definitely be checking those out.
Every single one of the games is free with an online subscription.
Cool. All right, and my suggestion of the week will be to talk. Okay, my suggestion of the week will be to talk to one of us about getting on the podcast or getting a decal. We've just started this pretty recently, and we're still trying to get the word out there about it. So if you listen to this, please tell other people about it.
Also, today and tomorrow are the last days to get your junior class shirt. If you like a junior class shirt and a cowbell, go onto My School Bucks or go onto the Google Classroom for the 2021 class. Get your shirts. Don't miss out.
All right, good memory remembering that. I would not have remembered that. So Yeah. All right. So I guess it's about time for us to sign off. Thank you so much for listening to the Inside 2021 podcast. My name is Connor.
My name is Logan.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye. The Inside 2021 podcast is hosted by Connor McGrath and Logan Butika, under direction of Linda August. Editing is done by Connor McGrath and Nathaniel Van Sant. For any suggestions, questions, or concerns about today's episode, you can reach either of us between class or reach me at cmcgrath2021 at svak12.org
or El Butika 2021 at svak12.org.
To be a guest on a future episode, you can talk to either one of us. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Next week.
All right, bye guys.